Okay.
I'm almost numb to this, but June 21st, one of the last conversations we had with Bob was around how we were going to help, June 14th actually, how we were going to help.
What year?
2019.
Did people ever come to you and be like, there's a school I'm building, but I'm not really building a school. Just put a little bit of something in there.
That didn't happen in that form. What it happened was like, give me the gig and I give you something. And actually, in my industry, there was a time, Richie, my budget was what, 800-900 million a year? God. How are you not benefiting from that? Was easily a conversation. So yeah, it exists. And I think, so I never got that thing of I'm building a school, but I'm not building a school. Let's just say we are. But there was also that you could have a supplier would come and say, you know, I can add a little bit something here and there to look after you if you give me the job. That also happens even today if people are real with you. If people are going to come and talk about it really, you still get that. You just decide if you're going to do it or not. So, no, I didn't play into that. It was never a place of I'm going to benefit from. And it's still not how I roll today.
Because now you're on the different side.
Because you're shafting somebody.
The time I did a gig.
So let me give you an example today in the world we are in. If you come and tell me, Za, I as Richie, I have recommended you to be considered as an event, as an agency for a conference that's coming up. If you get the job, you'll give me a commission. I'm very okay with that. That will happen, and that happens. We'll give you a commission for bringing the work, a finder's fee if you may. But Richie, if you work for the brand and you come and tell me, okay, this glass or this stool, I know it's 2,500, quote 3,500, and then itolea yangu. That will not happen. Forget it. We're not gonna, because you're eating from your employer. That won't happen. Come and rightfully say, and it's a thin line, and it happens.
There's a time somebody came to tell me, I'm making nothing from you, the event organizer, I'm making nothing from you, because your name came from orders from above. You are requested to be this.
Yeah. When you to your boss.
Yes, or you are requested to be. You didn't. We as the agency didn't choose you. We were told to work with you. So I'm making nothing from you. And I'm like, why would you guys be? I thought, So I understand the amount of money that that's close. You said close to 1 billion shillings. How do you not do it? Let me ask that maybe.
One, I think it speaks to who you are.
If you didn't do it, because I'm asking this question with the assumption, with what you've said, that you didn't do it.
No.
And no judgment if you did. You know what I mean?
No. Why didn't I do it? It's tempting. Everybody has a price. And let nobody sit on this chair and tell you, everybody has a price. Richie, there are many reasons. There's so many reasons. I could tell you the whys. I could do it and I could not do it. The could not was I didn't want to have to face my kids and say, this is the kind of person I am. I didn't want to, you're asking me to eat from my employer who's already, there were more no's than yeses. Yeah. In terms of the whys, I wouldn't do it. It goes back as well to my parents. That's not who they brought up. That's not the kind of investment they made on us to go and do those kind of things. Hey, no, I don't think even today if I told my sisters I was collaring, I think they'd even stop talking to me. I think that's just who are you as a person when no one is watching. I always tell people, when no one is watching, who are you? So it was there moments. I think also I didn't enable it. I think there's also the enabling factor, right?
Was it often? Did people...
No, because...
The chi you gave out, the energy you gave out was...
Yeah. I don't think I showed it in I think there's an energy you send out. There's hints like, sijui Friday nitafanya nini. Unajua, I can tell a client straight away who, even now, who's like hinting, and we're like, hey, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm being as open as...
I hear you. No, I need to ask a question because I'm like, corruption, I've learned not to stop blaming leaders. I'm like, let's have a peer-to-peer conversation. What does corruption look like at our level?
Yeah, and it's not a Kenyan problem. It exists everywhere.
Yeah, it's a global
Let's
one.
not lie that we are... It's everywhere. It's, even with the people that we do events with in other countries will tell you the same thing. The other day we were laughing. In fact, this weekend I was having a conversation with a fellow agency who asked me if this particular person has also been asking us for something. And I was like, oh, even you guys? She said, yeah, this one is quite shameless. It's yeah, and even when we did a gig in another country, it was the same thing. It's
Okay.
yeah. I think it's a human thing. It's not a...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's human.
Okay. It is. It's human, but it's a values thing in my world. That's
It
what
is. It's a values. It's again... Let me give you an example. When my dad was at the peak of his business, he was helping a particular person vie for the seat in Makueni. And they were doing extremely well. And somebody from the opposing sector came and offered my dad a hell lot of money, Richie. It would have solved all our problems, to jump camp and help him. Because by now my dad is quite a loved, respected people side of, on that side of the world. And my dad refused the money and said he'd never do that to his friend. Richie, we were like, that money would have solved all our problems. But that's who he was. He still suffered with his hospital bills and stuff, but he refused to take that money. It would have solved so many things for us, Richie.
Wow.
So how do I come from that to do that here now? How do I sleep at night? That's not my value
Sleep
system.
in a double-decker twin waterbed. That's how you sleep.
God please it. But I think it's a value system,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
It's everybody wants to make money. It's just how are you choosing to make your money?
Okay. 2015 again, you say was pivotal because of now. So you become HOD.
Yes. In 2013.
This lady who was causing a lot
I've
of
moved
trouble.
away from her. I'm now reporting into Sylvia Mulinge.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
In 2015 now.
Yes, I moved to her.
Sylvia Mulinge at this time, what's her position?
At that time, she's Chief Commercial Officer.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, she becomes Chief Commercial Officer in that restructure. So in that whole big company restructure, things are moved around. Sylvia takes on brand, marketing, research, etc., and she becomes Chief Commercial Officer.
Does a restructure come with a few casualties?
Yes, always. All restructures do.
Always.
I'm yet to see one that doesn't.
So this is not the restructure where she's made...
No, that comes a bit later.
Okay. So is this now where you and Sylvia's relationship takes another level?
Yes, because we're friends. We still are friends till today. Sylvia and I have a lot of love and respect.
Just in case you thought it was Sylvia she's talking about before it wasn't.
Just in case.
just put it there.
It's Sylvia Mulinge.
No, guys are like thinking, and don't joke with these guys on Twitter. They know how to do their research. Gen Zs, they make me laugh. Anyway.
No, Sylvia Mulinge. We're still friends. We've been friends from the day she came into Safaricom. We're still friends even till today. We have a lot of love and respect for each other as women that are doing things in the worlds that we are currently operating in. So she becomes my boss, and now I'm interacting with a completely different human being who's kind, who listens, who is a people person, who loves everybody for who they are, who lets you be. And I'm like, Richie, remember, I'm coming from an environment where when I'm sitting in the weekly meeting, everything I say is a problem. I'm fought at every level. Then I come into a meeting, and when I tell Sylvia, I don't think we should do it like this, she says, okay, let me listen to what you have to say. I used to go home and think,
Huku ni wapi?
where have I landed? And so now I'm working under somebody who is loving, kind, generous, just wants to make good things happen, is energetic more than me. And I thought I am on steroids. I thought I am the Energizer Bunny. Sylvia had energy for days. We were like, Sylvia, I'm like, Sylvia, okay, please, can we go home and sleep? Because I can't. This is too much. And she's enabling you and she's telling you, let's try if it fails. And she has your back. And that's the thing I learned from Sylvia. So what did I learn from Sylvia? Always have your team's back, no matter what happens. Hey, we'd mess up, Sylvia would stand with us in front of everybody. And you'd think we've done, even us guys were like, I'm pretty sure I'm the one who messed up. But Sylvia fought for you and you're like, hey. But when you went back in the room, utachapwa. But Sylvia, in front of the world, Sylvia stood with her people. And I learned your team needs to feel like you will fight for them no matter what. And that if you're to be fixed, you'll be fixed behind doors, never in front of people. Yeah, if you're to be corrected, sorry, not fixed, if you're to be corrected, let it be behind the doors when you're alone as a family. You don't yell at your kids in front of people. And from Sylvia, I learned genuinely, which I carry to this day, is have your people's back. Where Sylvia slept and ate, we slept and ate. Whatever Sylvia was eating, we're eating with her. If we cried together. If we're laughing together. And she still is like that till today.
And you didn't just have this, she didn't just have, it wasn't, you were not the only person reported to her.
Hey, Sylvia had the response. I didn't know how she did it. Like I said, I think she was on full-time power, solar power or something. I don't know where it was coming from. God really gave Sylvia that extra energy that she needed to do her job, because now she's in charge of channels, which is trade, the whole country, regions, what's happening in the shops, all of that stuff is Sylvia. Distribution is under her. Call center, she came back into a bigger role. So remember now, Sylvia is supposed to go and be CEO elsewhere, comes back into Safaricom into a much bigger role.
And another restructuring.
Yes. And now she comes back as Chief Customer Officer.
Yeah.
And that role was huge. She was responsible for almost, 70-80% of the company, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know the numbers, but it was huge. You're talking about call center, talking about channels, you're talking about brand, you're talking about marketing, research, commercial, all of that. The only things I think that were not there were enterprise business unit and financial services from our commercial side, revenue side of things. So, so she came back, and at that point, How
is eventing for you now at this time?
So 2013, I was HOD events and sponsorships, and when we did the restructure in 2015, we were now building bigger, better, fit for future, and that's now when I changed the name of the department from events and sponsorship to brand experience, and that's how the existing department today is still there as brand experience.
So, when we start, this is now, I'm taking you a bit back, because Groove Awards now under Mo Sound comes, it's in partnership with Safaricom.
Yes.
In fact, Skiza.
Yes.
And that Groove
for
Awards.
For quite a while, because I think it happened for 8 years?
Yeah.
It started in 2003-ish as Groove Awards at KICC. Then we said, let's take it on the road. And it became Groove on Tour.
Yes, Groove Tours.
And so I think it happened for 8 years, and we were their biggest sponsor. Not just giving money, now we are organizing it. Now remember, it's no longer Mo Sound doing it themselves. The Safaricom machinery has come in. Because it was huge, Richie. It had even at some point taken over secular.
Yeah.
If you looked at
Gospel at that time actually was in that era.
Groove Kasarani on New Year's would get 25,000 people. We had never seen crowds like that. The only other big crowd we saw like that was 29,000 people in Kisumu for Nikona, the first edition. Other than that, nobody drove the kind of New Year's crowds that Groove did.
So you now, are also part of organizing this. So
Yes.
most of them come and sit down at Safaricom and have conversations. I remember Joy used to,
Yes.
yeah.
We were actually, what ended up happening is that Safaricom at the time, I think both CEOs said, if we're going to give the kind of money we're giving, we have to have a seat at the table. We are not just giving money and coming as guests. We have to support in security, we have to support in a lot of things. And so we became ingrained in those sponsorships. So we were helping run athletics series. We were doing sevens. We were no longer just coming to attend. We were sitting at the decision-making moments of those events we were sponsoring.
That's what's ended. You know, I love what it is that you've said. The Safaricom machinery came into play.
Yes.
So it wasn't just the finances for you to do.
We supported with the advertising. We had billboards for group. We supported with event management. We supported with security. We supported with the things we were really good at. And one of the things Safaricom was really good at, and still is event security. Those guys, Kena Major, Mike Karuki and Major Ikwa really knew how. If I've learned how to do event securities from those men, that was not, you would not cut shortcuts there. It was, you better even cut something, but you're not cutting security.
And was that an internal Safaricom team?
Yes.
So that exists still today?
Yes.
Okay.
Best machinery, if you ask me.
All things Safaricom security.
They have all my love and respect.
How, in terms of the athletics, I know I've dwelt a lot on the music side, and that's me probably reliving my days. But what's the sporting, minus did you enter dance? No, those were dance TV shows. But what did the athletic side look like?
Athletics, what we're really good at sponsoring were the long distance races, across the country. So Iten Marathon, the Nyeri Marathon under Catherine Dereba, the Mombasa International Marathon. We were really good at those. And so was the rest of Kenya. Very few were sponsoring the short distances. We started giving money into that because it started becoming a place that wasn't being funded well. But we were also in Olympics and the continental meets.
No.
Every year, every 5 years, every 4 years, every time Olympics happened, Safaricom was the biggest sponsor. At that point, we were giving 5 million cash and phones and training. We were paying for the training at Kasarani, etc. So it was big. In athletics, we were still the biggest. I think in one particular year, we spent 110 million just in athletics in the year, 2012, which was unheard of.
Wow.
A direct investment in athletics, yeah.
I remember the stadium being rebranded the Safaricom Stadium.
Yeah.
So what did the rebrand mean? Did the rebrand mean that
so
you took
Kasarani
over?
needed funding. They did this really well, as it should be, and it's a global practice where a stadium is sponsored by a brand. So if you think about Coca-Cola Stadium in Atlanta, wherever it is, there's so many. There's the Capital One Stadium, I think in LA. I might be shooting names here, but you understand
I get the gist.
Yeah. So this was a stadium that they had put out, that they were looking for. Then they came to us and were like, it's a no-brainer. We'll brand it Safaricom and call it Home of Heroes, and that's what we did. And so it became an asset that was great for the brand. I mean, everything that happened there, even when World Athletics was happening there, even when football happens there, Gor Mahia versus AFC, the Safaricom brand was there whether or not we sponsored the event.
Kenya at 50.
Everything.
Yeah.
So it was a very good decision.
Okay.
A very smart decision.
So it doesn't, you just take on branding and refurbishing.
Yes,
literally.
we refurbished. We pumped in a considerable amount of money to refurbish the facilities, washrooms, all that stuff. Repainting the stadium, signage, all of it. In fact, if you go now even, the main sign only came down the other day for CECAF, I think. Was it CECAF, the last big event? CAF.
Yes.
CAF, sorry. Other than that, it's always been green for years from those days. If you look at it, it was the Safaricom green.
Who's coming in? Unless somebody
That's the same signage Safaricom put up in 2012.
Okay. So, back to 2015. That must have been difficult. As much as you're rising from career, was your mom sick?
No signs, Richie, other than falling down and having to have hip surgery. Look, towards the end of my mom's life, she struggled a lot with a lot of the depression started. Remember, we're seeing signs of depression from the age of 11. But towards the end of her life,
And
as
at this
much
time
as
you've
her
moved.
mind was really beautiful and sharp, my mother was sharp in numbers, you wouldn't believe. My mom would see your phone number once and she could tell you. My mom was a genius with numbers. Her biggest asset, her mind, was also her biggest demon, which was depression. So towards the end of her life, I think the depression got the most out of her. So no, Richie, was there anything wrong physically with my mom towards the end of her life? No. We just woke up, sent her to, she lived, so where I live now, there was the SQ. She didn't want to live in the main house with us anymore. We always used to fight about ways of, I didn't want her to smoke in the house. She was a smoker in her bed. I had young kids. I didn't want smoking in my house. So we agreed that we would turn the SQ into a, and she loved it. So it was it's still there. It's a beautiful 2-bedroom SQ. My mom loved it. It had what she needed. And so
It's
that
like a guest
day,
house on the side.
it was a guest house, yeah, but it was SQ. A guest house is fancy. It was SQ converted for my mom, if we're speaking the truth. And on Valentine's Day, I spoke to my mom at 3 in the afternoon. She watched a movie, she went to bed, and she never woke up the morning of 15th of February. So this month will be marking 11 years since she passed.
Wow.
Yeah. So no, I didn't see it coming. It was a shock.
Okay.
I didn't wake up to think my mom wasn't there. My mom had a nurse who slept in, and when she woke up, she tried to wake my mom up. She wasn't waking. No, actually, the nurse wasn't there. Our gardener, Chalo, was. He would watch a show with my mom every night because he lived. So she had the SQ, and then there were more SQs there. So my mom had hers, and then there was the housing. He lived there. But he didn't have a TV, so every evening after Jobo, he'd go and sit with my mom and keep her company. And they'd watch TV together and stuff. And they watched a movie. He closed the door. He made sure she was okay, and he went to bed. And the next morning, he opened to wake up and check if she wanted her morning coffee and cigarette, and she was non-responsive. So Chalo found her, and then he came up now to 10, who's still with me. And he told her, I don't think Mama is okay, come and help wake her up. And so he took, and they hadn't told us anything, we were still sleeping. And he took 10 and they went, and 10 tried to wake Mom up and realized she had passed on. And so when 10 walked into the house, she was crying, and I knew straight away something wasn't right.
And that begins that process all over again.
Yeah, that we've lost my mom. And that's the day I was supposed to go and start the setup for the jazz festival at the racecourse.
Okay.
Yeah.
The story continues. Your
February
life.
2015.
February 2015.
I'm working still under this other boss. I don't report to Sylvia until August same year. So I'm not under Sylvia right now.
Please tell me at least she let you take the day off.
She did. She tried to be supportive, but she said something that I'll never forget, and I don't want to repeat it, but it wasn't kind. She was supportive. She sent me MPESA. She sent me all the support, but she said something more like, and I stood there and I thought, I didn't choose for my mom to pass away. It was almost like, why did this have to happen now?
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, happier times.
Yeah.
2016, you're under Sylvia.
Yes.
You're HOD.
Yes.
How's that going?
Good. We are doing amazing things. We are doing Toeza Live. We are doing
Toeza, that's a thing.
Yes.
Yes.
Toeza. So Nikona
Evolves again.
to Toeza. 2016, 2017. I think Sylvia leaves in between. We are kind of... What happened to us? Oh, I reported to one of my colleagues, but not for a very long time.
Because she left for a few months.
And then came back. Life continued. I don't think anything major or shifting happened then. Now I'm settled. I'm happy. Things are good. I'm no longer having to look back at, am I going to survive this space? We are now The ship is sailing really well. There are no rough waters where I'm sitting.
Yes. And are you enjoying work and career?
Completely. Loving it. I'm no longer tormented.
Again, you don't have to answer because I know sometimes finances get tricky. But what's HOD status like financially?
It's good. You're in a good salary. I think for mine, I was close to 100K, 800K. Car, driver, benefits, good fuel allowance, office, PA who does everything for you. Now you're in a corner office and everything it comes with.
In a sweet time of the company. So at this time, are you ever thinking even of leaving Safaricom to start?
Never. In fact, I'll tell you, there was a bank that called me when Bob was actually in London and was due to come back from his treatment. And I'd started thinking about what's my next, because I felt, okay, guys, I've been here 18 years. I've done my part. I'm now occupying a seat because it's comfortable, but I don't know what I want to do with the rest of my life. I started having those conversations, those internal staff meetings with myself. And I remember this bank that was rebranding itself into the market. It existed but needed to rebrand because it had been taken over in Africa. Actually approached me to come in as head of brand and was offering me the position to leave Safaricom and take over as the head of brand and marketing, to now take over this process of revamping
and
rebranding. Yeah. And I declined the role and they couldn't believe it. And Richie, they were like, what is it? Are you furniture? And for me at that moment, I was excited that Bob was coming back home. I wanted to be that for that moment. And people don't understand it. And it's not that it's a job, yes, but it's also the people.
You declined this job offer because Bob was coming back.
Yes.
Bob had gone for treatment.
I still remember the meeting in Sankara. They thought I was crazy. They told me to think about it. They put the offer on the table.
And the offer was much better.
Aye. Director level you're talking about.
What?
But for me, I wanted to be there. I had given so much of my time to this wonderful brand that how could I not be there when this man was coming back? I wanted to be there for that, Richie, and I can't explain it. But I have zero regrets that I stayed and waited.
First of all, that's incredible leadership to make somebody want to do that.
Yes.
That's what
100%.
So just tell me, what is it that you loved so much about Bob? Like, no, what is it? Actually, I don't even know. What is it that...
Richie, I don't know that I can describe it in a way that would be understandable, but when you work under great people, they make it very difficult for you to leave. You stop counting the money, you stop looking for the salary, you start looking at... With those leaders, it was always about what were we going to do different. And I'll tell you my last, and I still have that WhatsApp conversation, my last messaging with Bob the year he died, and allow me to just look at my phone so that I can tell you the exact date. Hold on. I'm trying to pull this.
No, we're in no hurry. We're in no hurry. Okay.
I'm almost numb to this, but June 21st, one of the last conversations we had with Bob was around how we were going to help, June 14th actually, how we were going to help.
What year?
2019. How we were going to help Simon Kariku from Ghetto Classics, who had won a scholarship to go to London, who needed about 3 million to go, how we were going to help him go. And we had started this plan on how we were going to do a dinner and call in well-wishers. Of course, Safaricom could have just given the money easily, but Bob wanted more people to hear Simon's story and allow more people to be a part of that story. And so he pledged money. Some of us in the office pledged money, myself, Sanda, Koi, we were a couple of us. We were going to do like a dinner. He was going to reach out. And we knew that 3.3 would have been very easy to get. And then Richie passed. And so, hey, I cannot tell you the shock because nobody told us this is what's going to happen. Nobody. And it was, I still remember, so we finished Lewa June 30th and we came back to Nairobi. And I remember telling Sanda, who remains my best friend to this day, that we should go see Bob because we've not talked to him in a while and we had a lot of interaction with him. And Sanda wanted to see him and I also wanted to see him. And so we had made a plan that hopefully that Wednesday, Thursday, the two of us could go visit him and see how he's doing because now he was no longer coming to the office because he had to be a lot more in isolation and stuff. So we knew that's what was happening. And she said, okay, I'll ask Bob, once you're back from Lewa, we can see if we can go and see him for an hour. So that's what I knew was going to happen that week. And so I would wake up at 5:30 in the morning. So came back from Lewa, super tired. And on July 1st, 5:30 in the morning, woke up, got my kids ready for school. The driver took them and I went back to bed because I was exhausted. My husband would leave the house by 8 to be in the office by 8:30. The office is at JKIA. So I'm only on at home. And now anybody that I think could be a strain in, like my mother is passed on, so that can't be the reason my husband's waking me up or whatever. You don't take yourself to, but when my husband, so what had happened is Tariq's going to the gate and this SMS comes, the 411, and everybody got it. Do you remember everybody? If you subscribe to 411, you got a message that Bob Collymore has passed on. And my husband stopped at the, so he didn't see the message. Our housekeeper Wanjiro saw it and she ran to the gate and told him, stop, read your message. I've gotten the message, check your message. And she told Tariq, come back in. I think Zah's gonna need you. And Richie, the second, and hey, it really knocked me out. But the second he touched, he woke me up. I knew something's wrong. And Richie, nothing in the world prepared me for him telling me that it was Bob that had passed on. And I remember screaming at him and screaming at the world. And I called Sylvia and she confirmed it was true. And I'm screaming at her. And she told me, when you calm down, call me back. And I was screaming. I didn't know how to process that information. Because this man that we loved so much, we were like, somebody should have told us, somebody should have prepared us. But obviously, as a family, they did what was right for them. But for those of us who loved that man, and
What? This is what I'm trying to understand. What is it that made that? Why did people? But because you're on the seat, why did you love him so much? Do you understand what I mean? What did he do? This conversation started like, I can't stand this guy, and we understood that.
yeah.
So the switch is what has switched? I mean, there's one thing that's very powerful that I've heard you say. He saw and supported women.
Yeah.
And called them out, actually.
You know, Richie, I can't, if you ask me to write it down, I'd need a lot of time, but I think it's just who he became in my life. He was just this person who was a supporter of who I was and the things I wanted to do and the ecosystem. He was a big supporter of my team at work. He was a big supporter of my children. He loved all our kids. People just, Richie, you know a good man when staff members are so comfortable that they bring their children to his office and they leave their kids there and they go and Bob is in the crèche. Ask how many Safaricom people would bring their kids to Bob and just leave their kids in his office and he's playing with them, and who does that? And so for me, and then the person that he was out here, that I could come and say, Bob, we need to pay there's 15 children at the Kenyatta Cancer Ward that aren't able to go home because their parents can't afford, and he tells you get it done. So it's not one thing. It's a million things that were just right in that man.
Wow.
And when I say he has the same heart as MJ, they're the same. If I pick the phone today and tell Michael there's a problem we need to solve, he'll answer that call, even today.
Wow.
And those are the kind of people I've been around, that I've grown up with in this 25-year journey of mine. Your Ginas, your Sylvias, your Michaels, your Bobs, who are good people.
There's that DNA in all of that.
It's the goodness in who are we and how are we better people every single day for people around us. It's so hard for me to give you why I have so much love, respect, and time for those people, but they're not fools in the boardroom. Those are kick-ass people who are running multi-million-dollar businesses even today and are shapers. If you look at what Gina's doing today, it's stuff you can only dream of. If you look at what Sylvia is doing in Uganda, I look at her and I'm like, how?
Transform the whole of that business.
You know, and the beauty and the kindness and the Sylvia is a living example of what a human brand looks like.
Yes.
Right? But you're picking that up from the Michael Josephs and the Bob Collymores who we've all had the privilege of working with. So when people ask me, what is it? I can tell you a million things it is.
Okay. So that week must have just been absolute hell.
It was a daze. It was the one event I did not want to organize, was his cremation and the funeral service at
All Saints.
It was a daze. It was just, we have to get this done. Richie, the fact is I don't think I could speak about him for a year after that because I didn't know how. I didn't know how to process that. It was just, like losing a parent. It was literally like losing a parent.
That's what it sounds like.
You know, up there with losing my father, my mother, my uncle, and my cousin who were defining moments of people that were my family. Then there's this human that is just taken away from us. And I can speak about it now, but had you asked me to speak about this in a year, 2 years after he passed on, I could never sit here and have this conversation. It completely knocked me out.
Wow.
And this is me being super vulnerable.
Yeah. And that then, of course, leaves a vacuum, and Michael Joseph comes back to fill that vacuum.
Yeah.
But of course, it's not the same.
The good thing is I'd worked with Michael, so for me, it was not difficult at all. No, to be fair, it wasn't difficult. Thank God they brought him and not a new person, because I don't know how we were going to maneuver a new person.
That was wise of them.
Michael came in with a lot of love and time for all of us in terms of what he knew we were going through. And he knew how to just steer the ship and how it needed to be done at that time, while still delivering, because only a few of you, people move on easy, fast.
And is this when now you begin thinking about transition? Actually, you know what? Let's come back.
COVID 2020 is when I really said, this is it.
Okay. In fact, when we come back, we take it from COVID 2020.
Sure.